Hi!
Do you want to hear my story?
Yes!
Okay, today I will tell you about Beauty and the Beast. Do you want to hear it?
Yes!
Okay, let's. Once upon a time, in a very majestic castle, there lived a prince who was handsome and had everything. But his nature is a very selfish, arrogant, and often arbitrary towards his people. One day, while the prince was having a party, a witch came to the castle. She came only to shelter him from the storm, and in return, a witch gave the prince a rose. However, the prince laughed and mocked the witch gift in front of many people. The prince also insulted the witch for being disgusted with the witch's appearance. The disgusting woman like you doesn't belong here. Go away! The witch was offended by the prince's word, and the witch warned him not to be deciphered by appearance. Then, with her magic power, the witch cursed the prince into a tribal monster. Oh! Because of your arrogance, I curse you to be a tribal monster. The curse will disappear if you find true love before the last rose petal falls. Otherwise, you will be a monster forever. Not only the princess who was bewitched, everyone in the castle was also affected by magic. They were cursed to become a talking castle furniture, such as teapots, and glasses, candle, and also clocks, and various other pieces of furniture. Meanwhile, in a small village, there is a beautiful woman. The name is Belle. Not only beautiful, she is also famous for being friendly, smart, and kind. She lives with her elder father, and her father's name is Maurice. Her father was an artist as well as an antique mechanic. Belle likes to read books and sing, and she dreams of having an exciting adventure like the adventure told in her favorite books. And because of her ideals, the village people find her strange because the books are just ordinary fantasy stories that cannot excite in the real world. Belle's intelligence and beauty make men fall in love with her. However, none of the men attracted her. There was one man who was constantly annoying and persistent and approaching and wanting to be her. The man's name was Gaston. He was a dashing and handsome young man in the village. However, his good looks are not enough to make Belle fall in love. Plus, Gaston has a bad personality. He is very arrogant and often underestimates others. And it is not uncommon for Gaston to underestimate her passion for Belle, which is none others the reading books. So Belle often ignores Gaston. For Belle, reading is important to open and broaden horizons. One day, Belle's father wants to buy mechanical equipment that cannot be found in the village and require him to go to the city to look for the item. Maurice set off for the city on horse at night. Unfortunately, the weather that night was not very good. The wind was blooming very hard accompanied by lightning flashing. Then the lightning struck the tree, and the tree fell, blocking Maurice's road to the city. Maurice was forced to find another alternative route. Unfortunately, Maurice was lost in a wilderness, and suddenly there was a pack of wolves chasing Maurice. He then tried to save himself with his might by riding his horse to avoid the beast's attack. Then he came to a castle gate. Maurice entered the castle grounds very carefully. The castle looked very deserted, but they still tried to enter the castle to seek shelter from the storm and the pack of wolves earlier. Suddenly, the large and tribal monster appeared and immediately attacked Maurice. The monster thinks Maurice has come to steal something from his castle. Because of that, he was very angry and looked at Maurice and a bitch. Feeling the owner was not safe, Maurice's horse ran from the castle to the horse. When the horse got home, how surprised Belle was that her father didn't ride it. After a moment of panic, Belle then mounted the horse and asked the horse to take her to where her father was. Belle was very surprised when the horse took her to a very large castle, but it was very quiet and poorly maintained. Belle rushed into the castle to save her father. Dad! Dad! Where are you? How surprised Belle was because she found her father in a prison. Hearing Belle's voice, the monster immediately appeared in front of Belle and her father. What are you doing in here? I want to pick up my father. Please let him go. But he tried to steal in my castle. He deserves it. Please let him go. Let me take his place. He's too old to be in prison. In that case, okay. Maurice had rejected Belle's idea, but Belle managed to convince her father to let Belle replace him. And Belle also promised to try to escape from the castle. With a heavy heart, Maurice went home, leaving Belle alone in the creepy castle. Along the way, Maurice plans to ask others for help in order to free Belle again. On the first night staying in the castle, Belle kept crying and groaning. She didn't know what to do. Suddenly, a voice greeted Belle. Belle was surprised because the voice came from a talking candle. The candle tried to get Belle out of the prison so that Belle can move into one of the rooms in the castle. In that room, there were lots of talking furniture in the room, and they were trying to explain what was really going on in the castle. That was castle and its contents were cursed by a witch. Hearing the story, Belle felt very sorry for them and tried to save them from the curse. The furniture intend to make a plan for Belle to fall in love with the monster, so that the curse will disappear. However, Belle was not aware of that yet. According to the furniture, the monster does not know a good way for Belle to fall in love with the monster. Whatever the monster offers is always rejected. Then Belle will never fall in love with the monster and the curse will never go away. Because it always rejects, the monster feels frustration because he hoped that the woman could free him for the witch curse. One night, Belle took a walk around the castle. Accidentally, she finds a rose left by the witch. out of curiosity, Bells approached the roofs. Some of the petals have fallen off. Only a few petals remain on the roofs. Out of curiosity, Belle was about to hold it. While almost holding it, the monster suddenly appeared and grabbed the precious rose. He then shot at Belle very loudly. The monster was furious and immediately ordered Belle to leave as soon as possible. Belle then fled from the castle to the wilderness on her horse. Suddenly, Belle was attacked by a wolf that had attacked her father. Belle screamed for help. Since it was far from the castle, the monster heard the scream. He then ran toward the source of the sun and risked his life to save Belle. He fought the wolf with all his might. Luckily, he managed to kill the wolves and save Belle. But there was badly injured. Belle intended to leave the monster, but Belle feels sorry for him and then takes him back to the castle and also treats the monster well until it heals. From then on, Belle began to see the monster kindness. In the castle, they often smile and greet each other. I thought the monster sometimes show his scary side, but they are getting to know each other more and more. One day, the monster ventured to invite Belle to dinner and dance. This time, the monster didn't invite her in a rude manner. However, subtly and slowly, he began Belle to have dinner with him, and the monster hoped to make Belle fall in love with him so that his curse would disappear. And Belle also fulfilled his request as a sign of gratitude for saving her life. However, even though Belle was happy in the castle, Belle still missed her father, and with a heavy heart, the monster let Belle go so she could meet her father and make Belle happy. Even though Belle could break the curse, but the monster let her go. On the other side, Belle's father was also very worried about his daughter and intended to ask the villagers for help, but no one believed the story that happened to him. No one wanted to help him except Gaston. But in this case, Gaston helped Maurice just to get Belle's attention, but in his heart, he also doesn't believe what Maurice is saying. On the way to the castle, Maurice and Gaston passed through the wilderness full of wolves again, and that discouraged Gaston from saving Belle and thinks Maurice is just hallucinating. But Maurice still reassured Gaston to save Belle. Not liking Maurice's attitude, Gaston plans to leave Maurice alone in the forest and return to the village. Unexpectedly, when Gaston arrived in the village, he met Maurice again. Maurice also said that Gaston wanted to kill him by leaving him with the wolves. Instead of getting a defense, Gaston slandered Maurice and told lies so that her image as a famous person in the village was not damaged and intended to send Maurice to a mental hospital because he said things that didn't make sense. Just before Maurice was taken away, Belle came to save her father and told the truth that what happened to her and her father was true by showing evidence. Hearing Belle's word, Gaston immediately invited all the villagers to kill the monster in the castle. Belle and her father were locked up so as not to interfere with Gaston's plans. But Belle managed to save herself and immediately followed Gaston and the resident to commemorate the monster. When Belle arrived at the castle, she saw a monster that was being attacked by Gaston. She tried to save the monster and block Gaston, but the monster was shot by Gaston. But the monster did not fall immediately, but the fall at the last second and made Gaston fall from a high tower. But unfortunately, after that, the monster was unconscious, just as the last petal falls. Belle, who was beside the monster, was crying uncontrollably. She didn't want the monster to leave her. She wanted to always be by the monster's side, and she said she loved the monster very much. No! 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 Don't leave me! No! Please come back! No! I love you! No, please come back! Don't leave me! And boom! A miracle happened. The monster suddenly woke up and transformed into a handsome prince. Not only the prince, the entire castle and its contents were changed to normal. Everything changed because the monster had found his true love. And finally, the prince and Belle and all the inhabitants of the castle lived happily together in the very magnificent castle. Okay, that's all of my story. Thank you for attention and see you on my other story.
Dadah.